I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Barack Obama was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in front of a large crowd holding a rally for the Democratic candidates there, specifically the Democratic candidate for Senate, Mandela Barnes, who's running against the MAGA extremist conspiracy theorist Ron Johnson. And Obama was also there supporting the Democratic governor of Wisconsin, Tony Evers, who's running against a MAGA extremist candidate, Tim Michels, who wants to defund education and still wants to challenge the results of the 2020 election. Obama was at his best, and it's just a breath of fresh air seeing what a normal political rally is like. Seeing political candidates and people like Barack Obama talk about issues that actually matter to people, making education more accessible and affordable, making healthcare more accessible and affordable, fighting for people's social security, fighting for workers, fighting for better wages, fighting for better working conditions, fighting for issues that matter to the people of Wisconsin. And it stands just in such stark contrast to what we see at these MAGA, fascist, hate-spewing, conspiracy-spewing rallies. And it reminds us of what politics should be, what we should aspire to have political discourse look like. And it was so impressive to see that on display. And Obama was truly at his best. So let's start off playing my favorite clip from this rally where Obama talked about the importance of Social Security. And Obama looked at the crowd and said, "You may be on Social Security. You may have a family member who's on Social Security. You know why? Because they worked for it. They worked for it. And people like Ron Johnson want to take it away and give tax cuts for billionaires' private jets." Play the clip.
Some of you here are on Social Security. Some of your parents are on Social Security. Some of your grandparents are on Social Security. You know why they have Social Security? Because they worked for it. They worked hard jobs for it. They have chapped hands for it. They had long hours and sore backs and bad knees to get that Social Security. And if Ron Johnson does not understand that, if he understands giving tax breaks for private planes more than he understands making sure that seniors who've worked all their lives are able to retire with dignity and respect, he's not the person who's thinking about you and knows you and sees you, and he should not be your senator from Wisconsin. I mean, the message he's sending is pretty clear. If you're related to him, if you donate to his campaign, you get a deal. If you're not, you're out of luck and you're on your own.
And Obama pointed out that Ron Johnson, if there was an Olympics of spreading conspiracy theories, would get the gold medal, because all Ron Johnson does is spread these hateful and disturbing conspiracy theories, and he's not fit to represent the people of Wisconsin. Play the clip.
Mandela's opponent has done more than just about anybody in Congress to spread conspiracy theories about the 2020 election. I mean, he has a gold medal in that event. He said the attacks on law enforcement at the Capitol on January 6th were, by and large, quote, peaceful protests. He did say that the rioters, quote, taught us all how you can use flagpoles as weapons. Now, if that's the lesson you take away from a violent insurrection storming the Capitol, I don't know what to tell you, but I do know you probably shouldn't be serving as Wisconsin's representative to the U.S. Senate. Because that's not how our democracy is supposed to work. I mean, if that can't, if that doesn't elicit uniform outrage, what will? What does it take?
And Obama talked about the way democracy works. He explained that in 2016, when he found out who his successor was going to be after the election, he stayed up until 3 a.m. to wish his successor congratulations, even though he didn't want to. That's just the way democracy works. Play the clip.
Like in 2016, when my successor won, and I'm in the White, I wasn't feeling good, but I stayed up till 3 in the morning until it was finally decided, and then I had to call him and say congratulations, because that's how democracy is supposed to work.
But Obama explained that these days, it seems like the only thing that these MAGA Republicans, that the GOP cares about, is two things. It's owning the libs and can you get Trump's approval? Play this clip.
But I have to speak the truth, which is these days, just about every Republican politician seems obsessed with just two things. Own the libs. Yeah, let's own the libs. And getting Donald Trump's approval. That's their agenda. No, don't boo. Vote. Nobody can hear you boo outside this auditorium, but they'll hear your vote. But this current crop of Republican politicians, they're not interested in solving problems. They're interested in making you angry and then finding somebody to blame. And they're hoping that that'll distract you from the fact that they don't have any answers of their own. That's their obsession. That's their formula. That's their answer to everything. Now, I can tell you what Tony Evers is obsessed with. He's obsessed with growing Wisconsin's economy, making sure every child gets a good education in this state.
Here's a moment that I loved where Obama said, hey, someone like Mandela Barnes, you're a Democrat, you got a funny name, he said. So that's why you're getting all these outside attack ads of who's Mandela Barnes. And he says to Mandela Barnes, he said, get your birth certificate ready. Then Obama points out something that was so funny. Obama goes, remember when the birth certificate thing not that long ago was the craziest thing out there? That wouldn't even be on the top 10 list of the crazy things that exist now with these MAGA Republicans. Play the clip.
I want to say something here. I know that there's some folks, probably maybe not in this auditorium, but elsewhere in Wisconsin, who think, and I know these ads are running this way, that just because Mandela's named Mandela, just because he's a Democrat with a funny name, he must not be like you. He must not share your values. I mean, we've seen this. It sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? So Mandela, get ready to dig up that birth certificate. Get ready. Remember when that's the good old days. Remember when that was the craziest thing that people said? Think about that. Like that wasn't that long ago. Everybody's all like, wow, that's some crazy stuff. Now it doesn't even make the top 10 list of crazy.
And then Obama points out, he goes, Ron Johnson's kids don't have one, not two, but 3 private jets. They have 3 private jets, and people like Ron Johnson, they're trying to give people tax cuts and tax write-offs for their private jets. Here, play this clip.
So, Ron Johnson, as your senator, now remember, the question is, who's going to fight for you? Remember that, right? That's who's on your side, who's cares about you, who's thinking about you. Ron Johnson, as a senator, helped give millions of dollars in tax deductions to some of the biggest donors who funded his campaign. And after he voted for a tax plan that allows people to write off the cost of private planes, I've been trying to get this thing closed since I was president. If you can afford a private plane, then you don't need a tax break. But no, he fought for this. And then his adult children bought not one, not two, but 3 private planes, because apparently carpooling was not an option. Now, I mean, you need 3? Meanwhile, Senator Johnson voted to raise the retirement age to 70, supported a plan that would put Social Security and Medicare on the chopping block every single year. Each year you'd have to vote to renew this thing. I mean, think about it, because Washington works so well. You want your Social Security and Medicare reliant on Congress every year. He's called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. Said that it's candy that the left is giving away. The point is, some of you here are on Social Security. Some of your parents are on Social Security. Some of your grandparents are on Social Security. You know why they have Social Security? Because they worked for it.
And then Obama referenced the speech that he had given recently in Georgia, where he says, if an asteroid was coming down, no matter what the situation is, if you're a Republican, the only thing you say is, we need tax cuts for billionaires. That's it. Our policy. We have one policy. Tax cuts for billionaires. That's it. No matter what. Here, play this clip.
Inflation is low. What do you want to do? Cut taxes. When unemployment's high, what do you want? Let's cut taxes on the wealthy. That's going to solve that. I was joking down in Georgia. If there was an asteroid headed towards Earth, it's going to land in like 2 weeks. If you went in the Republican caucus and you said, what do you want to do? Well, we need a tax break for the wealthy. That's going to help. I'm only barely exaggerating. That's their only economic policy. The only one. And it's been their only one for the last 20 years. I mean, it'd be nice if every problem you had, you just had one answer. You know, those of you who are young, you're still in school, you know, you go to the math exam. It's like every answer is just number 8. Just write 8. You'd get an A. But that's not how the world works.
And Obama also addressed the very important governor's race in Wisconsin. And Obama pointed out that Tony Evers' opponent, Tim Michels, said that it would be absolutely insane, that it would be the most insane thing ever to continue to fund public education. And Obama said, really? That's what you think is the most insane? He goes, there's a lot of insane things going on right now. You think the most insane thing ever is supporting public schools? Is supporting public education? Here, play that clip.
You heard him mention that his opponent wants to make it easier for people to sue public school districts. His opponent called proposals to increase education funding the definition of insanity. Really? I mean, have you been on the internet? People are out there saying that we're ruled by giant lizards and that Elvis is alive. You can't think of anything crazier than investing more in our schools and our children? Let me tell you, if that's crazy, then Tony is a good crazy. Because he's a lifelong educator. And as governor, he's worked with leaders from both parties to invest more in public education than Wisconsin has in almost 2 decades.
And then Obama pointed out that in the race between Tony Evers and Tim Michels, you have Tim Michels, the Republican candidate who's an election denier, who spreads the big lie, and that Tim Michael says that if he's elected, he's going to try to overturn the results of the 2020 election. And Obama said, how could you trust someone in 2022 if they're trying to overturn the election of the last one? Play the clip.
Tony's opponent said if he's elected governor, he'll dissolve the Bipartisan Elections Commission. He basically just wants, I guess, to be able to decide on his own how elections turned out or not. He even said he's open to signing a bill to overturn the results of the last election. And to say the obvious, if somebody's openly obsessed with changing the last election, he probably should not be in charge of overseeing this one coming up. You've got a Republican,
And there you have it. The Wisconsin rally, an incredible rally indeed. Obama at his best, fighting for Mandela Barnes, the Democratic candidate for Senate, fighting for Tony Evers, the Democratic governor of Wisconsin. So great to see a normal rally like that. It was so great to see Obama out there. Great to see that positive energy. And again, standing in such stark contrast to the hate that we've seen at these Trump rallies, at these fascist Trump rallies. This is what democracy looks like. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button now. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your support. Hit the subscribe button. And in addition, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. There is a number of exclusive membership tiers there that you can join, and it will help grow this independent media platform. You'll love the exclusive content that you can only get at patreon.com. But most importantly, we're not funded by any billionaires or millionaires. We have zero outside investors. So through your generosity, we're able to keep this independent media channel going. So no matter where you are in the world, consider going to patreon.com/MeidasTouch and joining one of the membership tiers. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.